Pretty good. How you doing?
I am good. Is my mic and everything okay?
Yeah. Everything's perfect.
Okay, perfect.
I
Yeah.
just want to say thank you for the opportunity to have you on.
Oh yeah, no problem. I'm glad I could come on and say hi.
Yeah, I think we know a person that we both know.
Yeah, Raiders Rebel.
Yeah.
I've known him 28 years. He's been my
Wow.
friend a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a long time. So how did you guys know?
So I met him when I was in high school. I dated his brother, his little brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then later, 25 years later, him and I ended up dating.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was a little crazy.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah. So how did you get into all the YouTube?
So when I first started doing YouTube, I was living in Colorado, I believe,
Okay.
and one of my friends was doing like daily vlogs where she would record her day and then edit it and post it. And that's how I got into it. I did that for about 5 years straight, every single day. I did daily vlogs. I started on Thanksgiving Day cooking my meal. I just cooked the
Okay.
Thanksgiving dinner online, and it was like the worst editing ever back in the day in 2014. So when I first started editing. So it's been almost 11 years. I did vlogs, like I said, for 5 years. And then I went to doing it like once a week for the next 2 years. And then after that, I just kind of fell off. I went through a divorce, moved from Colorado to Florida, and just kind of changed my life. And then last year in April in 2024, I decided to move out of the house that I was living, put all my stuff in storage, and drive around the United States.
All
And
right.
so, yeah, I took my dog. He's actually right there
Okay.
sleeping, right there. I took him and we drove around the United States and checked out a bunch of different waterfalls. We drove from Florida to Minnesota. We went from Florida to Alabama, up through to Arkansas, then to Missouri, back down to Oklahoma, down to Texas. Went all the way from Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, California, Oregon, Washington, back down to Oregon, through Utah. Like I went all over. We just drove everywhere. And so at the end of that, I came back to Florida in July because he had a vet appointment that I had to go to. And then I moved to Hawaii for about 8 months.
Okay.
So I
Right.
shipped a bunch of stuff and moved out there for a little while. And then recently I just moved back to Florida last month because this dog, he has heart issues. So they said he can't go back on the flight.
Man, what you practically been to every single state in.
Yeah, I've driven around most of them. I've never been to like Montana,
Okay.
Minnesota. I've been to Michigan. I've never been to like New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Maine, like all those ones. I've never been up East Coast. I've been to like New York and New Jersey because I was signed. I'm a tattoo model, and so
Okay.
I was signed with a modeling agency for a year and a half in New York. So I was up
Okay.
there doing work for a little while and traveled back and forth.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So uh, you say you're a tattoo model. So how did
Mhm.
you get into that?
So I've been wanting to model since I was a little girl. Like,
Uh,
I think that's almost all
yeah.
little girls' dreams.
Yeah.
When they're little, I want to be a model. Well, I ended up being a model. I started self promoting back in 2008, and I would go on like Craigslist and look up like gigs for modeling shoots
Wow.
and stuff
Okay.
like that. And I just started promoting myself that way. And then I made a Model Mayhem account, which I really need to check my messages. I haven't checked them in a while. I keep forgetting. Yeah, so I don't actively model as much as I used to.
Yeah.
I've just been doing more like YouTube and focusing on that this last year. I've done a couple of photo shoots, but it's more been focused on YouTube and trying to build
Mhm.
my brand. And
Yeah.
I'm autistic and ADHD, and
Okay.
I'm very high functioning. Like I can focus, I can do most things, but I get very stressed and anxiety and social environments really badly. And so I spend a lot of time at home in front of a computer, in front of a phone, and just talk to people that way, you know?
Okay.
And so it's my way of having a social life. It's also my way of like promoting my brand. Like I have a website. I published a book on there.
Wow.
I wrote a book about trauma bond healing through like a narcissistic relationship. And
Okay.
so I'm working on a second one of like walking away from someone you love, even though you're still alive, you know, even though they're still alive. It's like mourning. It's mourning a person alive. You have to still see them there, but not be able to say, you know, be there with them. And so it's a whole, I've been through a lot of trauma and stuff in my life. And so I try to relate to that and share it and just be like advocates for things so that others can relate and find somewhere to talk to and somebody to, you know, somebody to relate to.
Oh, that's awesome. That is
Yeah.
awesome. So, yeah, when you drove around the whole country,
Mhm.
did you stay inside your car? Or
Yeah, so I had camping gear in the back. I had little mattresses. I had a full-on fridge ice chest thing where it turns into a freezer. I had a battery. I had like all the stuff basically to like camp in a trailer. But I just did it in cars because I'm little and it was just me and my dog. So, and it was cool. We'd stay at like different rest areas and different little, we'd go and like stop at the truck stops when we're driving too
yeah,
far,
yeah.
but we'd go stay at like little campsites. And I stayed at a few Airbnbs, you know, here and there, do laundry and stuff. But
Uh,
yeah, it was like once a week I'd stay in an Airbnb and, you know, just get some laundry done, fill up on groceries, stuff like that. And, you know, just to stock up and stuff. But it was about 3.5 months I drove around and just enjoyed it. It was fun.
and let me ask you, what kind of car was it that you had all that
I
set up?
have a Toyota FJ Cruiser, so I have a hybrid. So it was super cheap on gas. Honestly, I spent less than $1,000 in 3 months, and I drove over
Really?
18. I drove over 18,000 miles.
Wow,
Um,
okay.
yeah.
But,
So
yeah, because I see these other YouTubers, like, what you do, like, go around the
mhm,
state in their car.
mhm. Yeah, it's simple. It's very it's simplicity. It also teaches you how to be humble for
Yeah,
the things that you don't have. You're like, "Oh, I can't just go to run to the
yeah,
kitchen and make a meal
yeah,
right
yeah,
now and
yeah,
I can't just, you know, go to the bathroom. I got to go find a place to
yeah,
go pee unless you carry a bucket or something." You know, there's little things like I had a portable toilet, I had a portable shower. Like I made it where I could like go camping anywhere. I literally have a pop-up tent to take a shower in. I have a whole little portable toilet thing. I literally got everything I needed so that I would be responsible, which is kind of funny because it makes me wonder. Like, I know a lot of people don't have the fortunate, you know, chance of getting what they need before they become homeless or something like that.
yeah.
But I know one thing, like if I was to be homeless and not have a place to go, I would go on Amazon. I would purchase a portable shower. I would purchase a portable toilet because you never know when you're not going to have access to those
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
Especially
true.
like when I first left Florida, I mean left Colorado to move to Florida. It was during COVID, and there was times I was driving and I could not even go to a gas station to go to the bathroom because they closed all the
Yeah.
doors at a certain time at night. So, you know, just thinking about that when I went through that, it helped me prepare for when I drove around the United States.
But let me ask you, as a woman, was there any time that you got scared at
No,
night?
you know, there was one time I got scared, and it was only because I was driving through Texas, and the first thing that popped in my head was Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh,
So I was
no.
like, I'm gonna die on the side of the road. I can see this now. I'm gonna get chopped up, and they're gonna eat my dog. They're
Oh,
gonna
come
wear my
on.
skin. I was sitting there just thinking the worst things. I'm like, they're gonna wear my skin.
Oh, God. That's,
Yeah, but
yeah.
honestly, like I'm not really afraid of trying new things and seeing new things because I know realistically, like people, for one, being a victim, I've been
Yeah,
I've been through things before in my life, and you know, you usually they go after people that are very quiet
yeah,
that don't have anybody around them, and I tend to be a very loud person just in general, and so I even though I attract attention, I might attract attention from a lot of people, but I also attract attention from a lot of others that are watching where I'm going. So it's people kind of, even if they don't know me, they kind of like, hey, I seen that girl, you know. And so everywhere I go, my tattoos are noticeable. So if something
oh, yeah,
happened to me, anybody be like, we seen her. You know, it's not really hard to be noticed. But at the same time, I also don't attract attention. I don't wear like inappropriate things when I'm out by myself. I don't, go in sketchy places that I feel like, okay, like I wouldn't drive through LA in like, the bad areas when when I'm by myself. Like I wouldn't go see Beverly Hills because I'm like, okay, my car could get stolen. I'm by myself. I know how California is because I was born in San Diego. And so, yeah. Okay. And so I know how violent California can be in certain places like Oakland, Compton, like all those. And so I stay clear of those places. I also, when I travel, I don't really go into the cities. I try to do more like hiking, camping, stay away from crowds type of thing. I'm the type of person, I just don't like big crowds because I get social anxiety. So it was just more like to be in nature than anything. Like I just loved experiencing it. Yeah.
So speak of the devil. How many tattoos do you have?
Oh, I have 91 tattoos. My most recent one was this one. And it's a little diamond of me. I'm a diamond in the rough. It takes a lot of pressure to become a diamond, a piece of coal. And I've been through so many things in my life and I still come out sparkling.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. But 91 tattoos.
Yeah. And they all relate to stories like this whole arm, like this flower was done because my grandma and my grandpa and my aunt all passed away in February. And then this flower is for the month of September, which is my grandpa's birthday month. And then these flowers I got because my grandma really loved red roses. Okay. And so like each thing that I have, it relates to some piece of my story in my life.
So let me ask you, where is the most painful place to get a tattoo?
So everybody is different. Everybody has a different pain tolerance. Some people can handle pain, some people can't. For my perspective, like I've had tattoos on my ribs, on my back, everywhere. And I would say my spine was number one, the worst pain. Ribs are like right under your ribs, like there. It's not as bad as the belly, like down in the belly, really? Like the belly, right above the belly button and right around the belly button is super sensitive. And like, you know how like you have those tickle spots on your side? Yeah. So that spot hurts like hell, like hurts like hell. So I'd say your spine is number one. That area, like stomach area is number two. And then the top of your foot would probably be the third.
Ooh, really? Yeah. Okay.
And then after that, I'd say like the jawline. The jawline is really painful. Because he had to hold up and just do it like this to get the sides. So you're holding your neck back this way the whole time, and then he's getting like the bone. So yeah, it was pretty painful.
So how many hours do you think you were in a tattoo?
So just my one tattoo on my hip was over 55 hours, and then my back with just my wings was 35 hours. And so I probably have over 1,000 hours in tattooing. Easy. Yeah.
Jeez.
I have lots. Just like one arm took like this from here to there was like 8 hours one session, and then I think 7 the next. So it was another 15 hours for that one.
God.
Yeah.
And is it all by the same tattoo artist?
No, I have different artists over the years. My first artist was one of my friends that passed away from cancer in 2021.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. He passed away of stage 4 cancer. But I have a couple of tattoos from him when I was younger. And then I got some from friends that lived in Arizona. I went to their shop because I trust my friends. I probably had about 7 or 8 artists on different artists. But for the majority of my tattoos, the majority of them were done by one artist that now lives in Vegas. He used to live out here in Florida.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So which video or which vlog got you the most viral?
So the most viral, I say, were my live streams. My live streams go because I crash out on trolls a lot. So I'm thinking about changing my name from Hawaiian Kandie to Crash Out Kandie. I thought it'd be kind of funny. I'm thinking about it. But no, so I'd say my most viral videos was like Halloween or, after around March. Right around March, I started blowing up. I think it was around March 2nd. I started letting everybody know that I was ADHD and autistic because I used to hide it. I used to not tell anybody I used to not put it out there. And I was literally like on ChatGPT just saying, hey, you know, what can I do to help boost my algorithm? Da, 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 da. And it says you have to be more authentic. And so I was like, okay, well, what can I do? And they were like, okay, well, you're this, 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 this. So why don't share that? Put it in your hashtags, do this. And so I started promoting, you know, like letting people know, hey, maybe I'll get people that'll relate to me that's ADHD, that's autistic.
Yeah.
And then they can find my channel. So as soon as I put those hashtags in and hashtag shorts, hashtag like different, you know, different SEO search hashtags, it blew my channel up in March. So it was like a lot of other people were able to finally find me. And before I wasn't really branding myself. I was just kind of making random stuff. Like I was traveling, I was here with dogs, I was doing vlogs, I was doing unboxings, and I do so many things because I've been doing social media influencing for the last 8.5 years. Right now I make money on products that get sent to me, and then I promote those products. And so, you know, I make money doing that. I make money streaming on here with my ads because I'm monetized. You know, I have my other pages, my social medias, my Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. And so I'm always outsourcing ways to make new money and ways to get a bigger following and ways to grow. And I've grown, you know, I was on TikTok a few years ago and it got banned because somebody was talking about OnlyFans or something in the background. One of my, I think it was actually Rebel. He was talking about OnlyFans, and people are so like, they're so like narrow-minded this day and age. And on TikTok especially, they're very, very strict. So as soon as he said something, someone reported my channel and it was 187,000 followers banned, permanent ban. And so it was insane. And so after that, I kind of was just like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. That was so hard to build that up. It was not easy at all. I got really lucky that one of my videos went viral on TikTok, and it wasn't even viral. It was like 20, 30,000 views on one video, but it got 8,000 people in one night. And then the next week it got up to 50,000. And then another week I was up to 70,000, and it blew up. But to get that following and keep them engaged, to keep them coming back, that is the hardest problem we have as content creators. You know, as a content creator, it's hard to get people to want to keep watching you. Most of my live streams, like, don't get me wrong, like I get 200,000 and 300,000 views on my live streams, or 20, 30,000 views or 40,000 views or, you know, whatever. But it's always, oh, they're in there 20 seconds and they're leaving, and the video duration. And so it's like, okay, trying to get people engaged, watching and staying around is hard, because most of the time I'll try talking to people and then I get the trolls that come in and, you know, say the stupid stuff. But my trolls are like beyond the rudest, meanest people ever. They say, oh, they'll come in and be like, oh, your face is ugly, or you're 70 years old, or you look like a HOE, and they just say really disgusting things to me, to the point that it's like, okay, well, I'll start crashing out. I'm like, okay, your mom is this, and da 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 da. And I talk, like, I will put up a mirror for people and I will talk shit right back, because that's who I am. Like, I'm gonna be unfiltered, real, no matter what. And yeah, you can like me, you can bring the best out of me and talk to me and have a conversation, or you can bring out the worst in me and see what the hell you're scared of, because by the time I'm done, you're gonna be running.
I hope I never get onto your bad side.
Right. No, I don't think you will. But no, you know what I mean? I don't know if you've seen some of my live streams where I crash out on the trolls, but it gets pretty crazy. Yeah, so they get pretty crazy. But that's the thing is, like, I don't start out like that. You know, I start out saying, hey guys, how you doing? What's going on? And some people just instantly, it's like they have so little compassion for their own self that they have to go in and start talking crap to somebody to make themselves feel better. They have no self-empathy. And so no self.
Months ago, in one of my live streams, somebody actually came into my room and told me, why are you doing this? You have a handicap. Why don't you go die?
Yeah, people are so evil. They're so evil. You're like, I'm still a human being. I'm still breathing the same air that you do. And and you're, you know, the thing is I actually have so much respect for you to put yourself out there, because it does take a lot to put yourself out there in front of people with what you go through. You know, having a disability is not easy. And even though my disabilities are invisible, I try to look at it as it's not a disability, it's a superpower, and I just got to find the good in it. You know, this is the thing. You might be incapable of doing some things, but it's not a disability. You just got to find a way around it, which makes you
Yeah.
stronger than others who don't have to
Oh
suffer.
yeah.
It makes us a hell of a lot stronger with a harder shell around us because we're like turtles. We just pop in our shell and be like, forget you.
Yeah. Well, I was like that for a long time.
No, and that's what people don't understand. Even though most of the time words don't, it's like, whatever, I don't care what you say. Every now and then you could have a bad day where those words just cut at you. And you're like, okay. And, they never realize that there could always be that one time that you say at the wrong time and it ruins everything. Like somebody could end their life from the words that said.
Yeah.
I've been in that situation. I've been, suicidal in my life, and I've had those moments, and I'm sure at some point I'll probably have those moments again, especially with all the trolls on YouTube.
Oh, come on.
But you know what I mean? Like it's people don't understand. They need to have more compassion and empathy for others because this world is hard enough to deal with.
So you said you lived in Hawaii for 8 years.
No, 8 months. I lived in there almost a full year. I was there almost 9 full months, and I loved it, but I put so much focus into just working that I never really enjoyed it as much.
Like, which island did you?
I lived on the Big Island. I lived in Kona. Yeah, I liked it more because it's more like family and chill. It's not like a touristy, busy place. It's very calm. It was nice.
And what kind of work did you do?
I was just doing YouTube the whole time. I was just streaming. Yeah. And surprisingly, everybody says, so this is the thing. Everybody says Hawaii's so expensive. Yes, it can be on certain things. So it depends on how you live your life. For me, I would pay rent. And the most expensive thing I spent was on groceries. The food cost a incisable amount. It's 3 times the price of regular food. Like if you wanted a package of hamburger, it's 2 times the price. It's $14 for 1 pound of hamburger. It's because most of the things they have to ship in, so it costs more to fly it in. And so you're paying a lot more because you're having that food shipped to you, which also sucks because then you're paying like $28 for a Tupperware dish.
Good God.
Yeah, it was crazy. But at the same time, I eat like a bird, so it wasn't really bad for me. And then not just that, it's like I don't go out, I don't spend a ton of money. So for me, I was actually able to pay down some debt there. I spent a lot to get there, but I was able to pay some of it down there and then ended up spending a lot more to come back. Now I'm trying to find where to put all my boxes.
Oh, good God. You have a lot to unpack.
Those are all clothes. I kid you not. It's insane. It's insane. I'm not even kidding. Those are 20 years of clothes and wardrobe. Because I've been the same size for the last 20 years. I pretty much have been 110 pounds. And so these are like wardrobe from my modeling, all my regular clothes, all my stuff that I put in storage. And so now I'm like, I don't even know what to do with these anymore. I don't need them anymore. I don't know what to do with it. I even tried to have a yard sale and it didn't even sell. So I was like, I guess I'm just donating it all.
or you on eBay?
Right? I'm gonna. Oh my God, that'd be. I'd rather just donate it all. It's too much work to put it on eBay.
Too much work.
I think I'd be here till I was 100 trying to sell it. I have so many clothes. It would take me till I was 100 years old. It'd be another 50 and 55 years before I got through all that.
Oh wow, that's a lot of clothes.
It would definitely probably take me about 6 months to go through it all and take pictures and just there's so much stuff.
Yeah,
it's so much stuff.
Man, that just blows my mind.
Yeah, I really love clothes. So instead of, and it's funny because like I like them and then I'll wear them once and be like, okay, that's uncomfortable. I don't want that anymore. I'm so bad. That's my one flaw is all those clothes. It's my one thing.
So let me ask you, do you reach out to these companies? Or
no. The companies email me and reach out, and then they ask me, "Hey, will you do this? And what do you charge? And what's your rates?" And I tell them, "Okay, well, I have 80,000 followers. I just hit 80, and so obviously, I'm going to be streaming to a lot of people. I'm going to show those videos to a lot of people. I'm going to show that stuff. So I'm constantly marketing, even when I'm not trying. I still just because I'm always like, "Hey, look at what I got! This is awesome!" And I say it so authentically as somebody who just got a package for Christmas. Yeah. I don't just promote it like a like somebody who's like, oh, I just bought this and this and this and that. You know, I'm very authentic when it comes to my reactions. I'm very like real when it comes to things. Like I just got a weed box sent to me for cannabis. And I literally was showing the little bong. I was like, look at this bong. This thing is great. Like, look at the little alien. Because it's an alien, but it looks like a butt plug. So it was a joke. I'm like, look at this alien probe. It's hilarious. It literally looks like a butt plug. It's hilarious. It's just absolutely funny.
How fast do you get your channel monetized?
So you have to do at least 3,000 hours of monetization, or I mean, of watch time.
Yeah.
And then, so it all depends on how many hours you can get people watching your stuff. That's mainly what it is. For me, I started doing my live streams. I was on YouTube for 10 years and never got monetized. Nobody ever really watched my stuff. I wasn't really like pushing it too often, you know, and then as soon as I started going live, I blew up. Like it just blew up on Halloween. Like from the 17th of October to Halloween, I think Halloween, I got a first 100,000 views while I was just sitting there in my room.
Wow.
Yeah, I just sit and talk to people. I'm really good at like reading the comments as fast as they come in. I get like about 1,000 people in my live sometimes more. And I could sometimes the comments are going so fast you can't read them. But other times I'm pretty good at like skimming them because I'm a speed reader. Like I can read really fast. And so I just skim like the comments and then I'll respond to the ones that aren't rude, you know. And sometimes I try not to respond to the rude ones, but when you get so many comments where you barely get anybody saying, how's your day? And you get, oh, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. And it's all rude. That's all you can respond to. You know what I mean? You can't respond to the one comment that's like, hey, you know, you're going to respond to the ones that are like, you're a fucking this and this and that. And you're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to respond to you. I'm going to tell you how you are. I'm going to tell you what the fuck you're doing. And then I'm going to be straightforward and I'm going to make you cry to your mommy. So have fun. I'll spank you and send you home.
Well, I did catch your live stream today.
Oh, my live stream today was a little crazy.
There was this one guy just.
Some of those people are vulgar. It's absolutely insane. Oh, they say, oh, I want to sleep with you. I want to do this. I want to stick this. I want to do that. And I'm like, oh, you're sad that only your mommy would touch it. So please.
I like that comeback, though. I like that comeback.
I am pretty good. I'm pretty witty with my comebacks. I don't know where they come from. They're just like off the top of my head. And I don't know.
If somebody talks bad about me, I just ignore.
See, and I try. So my problem with ignoring things is when I was little, I would try to talk a lot. And I'm like, they didn't know that I was ADHD when I was little because, you know, back in 1980s, they didn't know about ADHD and autism and all those things. They didn't know about any of it. And so when I was little, everybody was like, okay, this kid talks too much. Shut up. And so anytime I tried to talk, I would just get ignored as a kid, you know, because there was I had brothers and cousins and I was just one of the other little kids that was being annoying. So kids go, and back in the day, they wouldn't listen to you. That your parents would be like, go outside. We don't want to hear you. Get the hell out of the house. You know? And so the generation that we grew up in compared to the generation now is extremely different. Like, as a mother, I was very attentive, listen to every single thing my kids said. I would, what do you need? Let me hear you. Like, tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're feeling. Like, I want to know because I wanted to be there. I didn't want my kids to feel the way I did when I was little, getting ignored by all the adults, you know, and all the kids had to go outside and play. And we weren't able to express our feelings. We were just told we were whining and you toughen it up and go drink out the water hose, you know, go piss outside. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't, you didn't get in trouble for that stuff. You were told to do it. Like, don't come back in the house until it's dark. Otherwise you're grounded. Like, okay, I ain't coming back home, you know? And so having that difference as a child, feeling unheard, I feel like even if it's negative, I still like to respond because I never want anyone to feel unheard or never want anyone to feel ignored. And maybe I overly do it, but I always try to make every single person feel heard or feel welcome, even when they're assholes. You know.
Your child, how was it at school?
So yeah, when I was in school, I got teased all the time. I got teased. I was very pale. I could not get a tan when I was younger, and I lived in California, but in a very hot part of California next to Arizona. So it was literally like 120 degrees in the summer, and I would blister. I would just burn. And so
Oh,
I wasn't allowed to go outside a lot. So when I went to school and all these other kids have like great tans in the summer of California,
yeah,
I'd be pale white and just get made fun of. They'd be like, "Oh, you're," they call me all kinds of different names, and it was just to the point where I was like, "Okay, well, I'm done with that." I dropped out at 17. I went back and got my GED when I was 21. I went to college when I was 36. I went for like 2.5 years. And I realized, oh, I'm actually smart. I'm not an idiot, because growing up, dropping out of school, feeling like, okay, maybe I'm
yeah,
not as smart as everybody else. Because I had a lot of insecurities in that, thinking that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't pretty enough, I wasn't this, I wasn't that. And I think every child at one point and another goes through those
yeah,
things.
yeah,
No matter who they are, and some people don't break out of it, and others do. And so I think going through that and having that life younger made me more humble as an adult, when everybody's sitting here commenting, like, not the mean ones, but everybody else is like, oh, you're so pretty and you're this and you're that. It's extremely hard for me to hear the compliments just as much as it is the insults, because growing up my mindset was I'm not good enough, and as an adult I'm trying to train my brain that I am good enough. So when I get compliments, it's almost just like an insult to me. It's like, please just stop, like, it's too much. And it's almost feeling like somebody's in your bubble and it's smothering. And it's like,
yeah, yeah,
I appreciate that people tell me, oh, you're pretty, but there's a lot more to me than my looks. And so when, I'd rather have somebody be like, hey, how's your day going? Hey, what you up to? What are you doing this weekend? Have a normal conversation.
yeah, oh yeah,
Because I've learned in my 40s that life is not about your looks. Yes, I might enhance my looks with fillers or Botox, but I do that for my personal self, not for
yeah,
everybody else. I do it for my own insecurities that I see in the mirror.
mhm,
And a lot of people don't understand that. They're like, oh, you're doing it to get attention. No, I'm doing it because when I look in the mirror, I don't like what I see.
yeah,
So I enhance things, and I'm like, oh, I like this today and I like that. And there is nothing wrong with making yourself feel better for your own self-care. And a lot of people
yeah,
think,
yeah.
oh,
Totally.
you're conceited. No, I'm confident, and that's the difference. So I've just slowly learned to love myself a little bit at a time.
I mean that's great. That's great.
Mm.
It, for me, it took me a long time to figure that out.
Oh
Also,
yeah, it took me till I was in my 40s.
yes,
Like just these last few years I've started to actually care about myself and not what other people think. And I think that's also one of the reasons my channel has blown up, because most people, they're doing things online to get people to like them.
yeah,
Oh, I want people to like me for this, and I want people to like me for this. I want people to like me for the real me. So if you like the crazy chick freaking yelling at trolls and just being her authentic self, that is who I am, and that is what I've become. And I'm proud to be. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have my days where I'm like, damn, nobody likes me, this sucks. But at the same time, it's like, you know what, I don't care if anybody likes me, because I like who I am, and
yeah,
I was able to stand up for myself, speak what I originally, like, what I authentically feel, without having somebody tell me, no, that's not good enough. No, this is what I'm feeling, and it's good enough for me. And so that is what my channel is about. It's trying to be as real as possible, not caring what others think. Obviously, I don't do anything to harm others. I try not to disrespect anybody. I know I do say some mean things in chat, but it is always after somebody has said something
yeah,
rude.
yeah, yeah.
And so it's never like I don't come in and I'm like, oh, you're this and you're that. Nobody does that. And if they do, I'm sorry you're having a bad day. You need a hug. Like, and that's how it should be. Like, you obviously need a hug today. Come here.
Yeah,
Like, all.
I have some of those days too.
And
Where-
and I think we all do, but it depends on how we show up in front of
yeah,
others when we have those days. And I think that's important, and that's what I try. Even when I'm having days where I'm crying and I'm having a really bad day, I go on and I let people see that, because I want people to know, hey, you know what? I am having a bad day, and I am sad, and I am feeling suicidal today, but that is why I came on here, because everybody does have those days. Some
mhm,
people have those days, and I want others to understand that you're not alone when you do have them. And even somebody that thinks, oh, my life is perfect or my life is this, even somebody like me has those days as well. And and everybody does, no matter who you are. People have those days, and a lot of people, I think, try to deny it or hide it or lie about what they're feeling, and then that's when somebody commits suicide, or that's when somebody does something because they're afraid to be a burden on others. And I've had those days, but the thing is I've learned is you're never a burden on somebody that is feeling the same way.
well, I like that. I like that. I like that model.
Well, because you never know who might be feeling that and being like, oh shit, I thought I was alone. You know, I go online even when I don't want anybody to see me looking like I've been crying or, just usually I don't put on makeup. I put on makeup today for the interview. I was like, oh, I'll look pretty. But, usually I'll go on and I don't care if people think, like, I get people tell me, oh, you look like Aerosmith or, oh, you look like a guy. Or I'm like, are you blind? Like, yeah, my lips look like Aerosmith. He was my inspiration. I hope you enjoy it. Not really, but I'll just
Oh,
say stupid things like that. I'm like, you guys are dumb. Like, I don't
yeah,
care what people say. But that's the thing is people have to be comfortable within their own skin because no matter what, everybody has their days where somebody's gonna say something that's not gonna
oh
make you
yeah, yeah.
happy. Somebody's gonna say something and you're gonna have to step up and be like, how do I want to respond to this?
Yeah.
How do I want to react and feel? And some days I'll be like, "Da, da, 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 da," and then other days I'm just like, okay, cool, good, have fun. Like it's on you. Peace out. Because you have to know when and again, I'm guilty of not knowing when to walk away sometimes, but you have to know when it's enough is enough for your own boundaries and your own self. Yeah.
So you lived on the East Coast and you lived on the West Coast.
Hmm.
Which coast do you like better?
I prefer the East Coast. I like humidity.
Oh really?
Yeah, I love
Oh
humidity.
god.
That's the one thing I love. So when, like, for instance, I grew up near Vegas, 2 hours away from Vegas for 23 years. And it
Okay.
was 120 degrees, dryer, blow dryer heat. Like you're turning on a blow dryer and just blowing your face.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't stand that. I cannot stand that. I'm like, I'm baking like I'm dying right now, just standing outside. So, like, that's the one thing I love about Florida, even though it rains a lot and even though it's humid when it's hot, I don't really go out too much during the day when it's blistering humidity,
Yeah. Yeah.
like overheating. But even if you do go outside, you get a little hot. As soon as you start walking around, it cools you down because the humidity in the air is like a air conditioning in a way. So it might be sticky for a few minutes, but you have your own air conditioner after a few minutes.
But aren't you like worried or scared about the hurricane seasons over there?
No. So I lived in Florida for 4.5 years before I moved to Hawaii. And honestly, like it's literally a bunch of rain. Unless you're right on the coast, it's all
Okay.
just rain. It's just
Oh
a
really?
ton of yeah, it's just a ton of heavy rain, a bunch of wind, and you might have a tree go flying. But rarely if you're inland, like I live inland in the middle of Florida, kind of up north in the
Okay.
middle. And so even when I did live near the coast, I was still like 30 minutes in. And so I was never really near the really bad areas. It was always just water, rain, and sometimes the electric would go out, nothing crazy.
So
But
how
I also lived where they had volcanoes going off since December and nobody was ever scared. So,
really?
it's like you're like, oh, you don't feel it. You see it on the news and you're like, is that even real? Like it doesn't feel scary. It really doesn't.
Man, it sounds like you had great, a lot of good stories in life,
Yeah, I've lived a crazy life over the years.
man. So how far do you live from Miami?
I'm right now, I think about 5.5 to 6 hours, but I
Oh,
used to
that
live
far?
like 3 hours from, yeah. I live all the way up north by Gainesville. I'm like
Okay.
I'm near Ocala, but
Okay.
I used to be down like by Sarasota and all that and
Yeah.
Tampa, but now I'm about 3 hours above Tampa. And then probably I'd say maybe 6 or 7 hours from Miami, depending on if you're stopping or going straight through. But with the traffic, I'd say 20 hours.
So
Seriously, there's 21 million people in Florida. It's absolutely insane here.
and so you lived in San Diego and in Florida. Which place has the most terrible traffic?
So I never really lived in big cities. When I was in San Diego, I was little, and then my
Uh,
mom moved me by Vegas, so I didn't grow up with as really bad traffic. But I
oh,
would
really?
say,
Wow. Okay.
but as I drove through California, I would say Texas, Florida, and California, all three comparable. All three about the same gridlock bullshit traffic.
Yeah. Just,
Probably, actually, California is probably the worst. California is the worst. I have to say California, and then Texas is second, and then Florida just takes forever. But California and Texas is the worst because you get tickets for going fast.
oh,
In Florida, the cops drive 90 with you, so you don't get tickets here.
really?
Oh yeah, the cops fly. Sometimes you'll get a ticket for going too slow.
You get a ticket for going too slow.
I've seen them ticket people for going too slow. Like yeah, it's crazy.
So how fast do you drive?
Uh, usually if I'm on the freeway, I'd usually drive like 85, like 85. But if I'm just driving through like these little streets,
Yeah.
I'll drive like 50 because it's like 35 to 45, and then I'll just drive like 5 miles over. I try not to go too fast.
Wow.
You never know when you're going to hit a deer out here, though. Like, there's a lot of deer and wildlife out here, so we try not to drive too fast out here. But when you're on the freeway, if you're not driving 85, then you're literally going slower than everybody else. It's insane. In a 70, they drive about 85. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, dude, I live in Northern California.
Oh, okay. It's not as bad. Southern California is horrible.
Yeah, about 4 years ago, I drove myself to LA.
Yeah.
And that traffic was horrible.
Traffic is insane in LA. It's absolutely insane in LA.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
Like, wow.
Absolutely. I wonder if Rebel's going live today. I know he was talking about going live earlier. I tell him, I was like, you got to be consistent, Rebel.
Yeah, he goes on every day. I see it on.
Well, I've been trying to help him, push him because I tell him when it comes down to it, you got to be consistent and just. Yeah. I tell him straight out, come in, utilize my following. Like I have such a big following, and I'm the type of person,
you do.
I like to help other content creators grow. So if you are in my channel watching, throw your link. Hopefully somebody will subscribe. Let them know you stream, because I know what it's like to. I know how hard it is to grow. Oh, I have been doing Instagram for years, and I'm just now finally getting to like 26,000 followers. And I used to post 5 times a day, 3 reels a day, and it was constant from the time I woke up till the time I go to bed. And I was not getting over like 2,000 followers. And it's years of consistency, but it's so exhausting. There's sometimes I'm at a point where I'm like, I just want to quit it all and go back to being like a person that watches TV for once. I got to a point where I don't even watch TV anymore because I don't have time. Like from the time I wake up till the time I go to bed, I'm like, okay, I need to answer this email. I need to record this video. I need to do this. I need to edit this. Wow. I need to talk to people. I don't take days off. I always recording something, posting something every single day. I'm working from the time I'm up till the time I go to bed. If I'm taking a call, it's like, even when I'm on the phone with like one of my friends, I'll be just sitting here working while I'm on the phone with them. And it gets exhausting some days, but at the same time, when I'm not working, I feel like, okay, now I'm being lazy.
Well, you know what? I feel honored that you make time for me.
Well, I consider this part of, work. It's helping somebody else grow. And that's, well, what I do also, I do video chats and stuff for people. And a lot of people think, oh, it's just, sexy calls, but I do regular chats for people for therapy. And I might not be a licensed therapist, but I took psychology in college. I've been through a lot of very hard things in my life. So I love to give people advice from, stuff I've been through and help them just have an ear to talk to. And, and I tell people, just go to my website, book a chat. If you need somebody to talk to, I'm there. Like I'm there. I have that. I've always been around.
Great.
Yeah.
That is great.
I've been an advocate for others for years. I'm an advocate for cannabis because I used to have cancer, and I'm an advocate for assault because I've been through that. And so I always try to be there for others that, go through it. And I tell people, if you can't afford to book a chat, you're always welcome to text me on Snapchat. I do respond to those for free. I'm always responding for, somebody just needs comfort. I know what that's like. I have, there's women and men that message me saying, hey, I've been through this when I was younger, or I've been through this, or I've been through that. And I'm like, okay, well, this is how you have to, this is what my advice for what you can do for that. And so I just try to be there.
And let's get to, how did you become a Raiders fan?
Okay, so that is all Rebel. So let me tell you, this is a fun story. So when I started dating Rebel, okay. I literally told him, I do not watch sports. Do not bring that shit in my house. I can't stand it. I will not. I will not watch football. I will not watch basketball. I will not watch soccer. I
Oh, come
hated,
on.
could not stand it. Could not stand it. I was like, I freaking hate football. I can't stand football. Every person I was with before Rebel, like my second husband, my third husband, couldn't stand sports. So it was great. We never ever played sports in our house at all. And then I get with Rebel, and now I'm like, go Raiders, go Raiders. It's insane.
Really?
Yeah. So what made me really like them is I started watching the groups that he watches on YouTube, and I didn't realize the thing about sports is how many people are so passionate about it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much of a camaraderie you get and how much of a family it becomes with the people that are in the groups. And so that is what truly made me love sports, because you connect with others who relate to the same things that you're relating to, and it builds a bond with people. It builds a connection, and it builds a society of family in a way. And I'm a loner when it comes to most things. I like to be alone, but this is the one thing online. I love to be able to connect with people because I do have social anxiety. So it's hard for me to be around people in public with the things I've been through, with what I've experienced in my life. The energy in person is a lot. It's very overwhelming sometimes. But to be online and to be able to connect with others and then have something that you relate to together is just, it made me fall in love with the Raiders because I seen how passionate their fans in general. Over all the other teams, Raiders fans are extremely passionate. And so I'm a very passionate person. And even though I don't understand very much about football, I literally just learned what a wide receiver. I don't even know if I know what they do. I don't know exactly what every position does. I don't know what every position is. I could not tell you what a cornerback does. I could not tell you what a tight end does. I couldn't tell you any of that. I can tell you what an interception is. I can tell you what a fumble is, and I know what a first down is now. Yeah, so those are the things. I really don't understand sports too much because nobody's ever actually broken it all down and talked to me about it. And Rebel was like the one that I kind of paid attention to because, when you date somebody, you kind of start paying attention to the crap that they do. And so it got to the point where I was like, oh, I really like that. And then it kind of made him annoyed, like, why are you following all my channels? And I'm like, I'm trying to learn. But it was basically him just being so passionate, and seeing his passion and love for the game really made me want to understand what it is that he loves about it and what it is that he finds so passionate about. And just watching his love and passion for it just made me really want to know how just fall in love with the Raiders in general, even though now I know they suck. No, I'm just kidding. No, honestly, I think they are really going to do good this year with Pete Carroll. I don't really know much about Geno Smith. I do know that I'm an Aiden O'Connell girl. I am all about Aiden. AOC is my quarterback for me. That's what I say. I really think if they give that kid a chance, I think he would go far. I think he's just from when he started to where he is now, he has truly shown himself that he's grown in mental, physical, just everything that he's doing. He shows up early. He trains with Tom Brady. He learns those things. And I really see him going far one day. I really see the kid going far one day.
But right now, the problem with the Raiders is the offensive line.
Yeah, see, I don't really know who's all on the offensive line. I don't know which position, which players are what. I know Max Crosby's defense, right?
Yeah.
And then Ashton Genty, I know a little bit about him. So yeah, I know a few. I don't know which if it's on offense, which is on defense, but I know that I've heard that the defensive line is really good. A lot of people are worried about their O line.
So, the O line is crap.
Yeah. See, well. I mean, to be fair, they're slowly starting to get better. So I see them slowly, hopefully, working together. I don't really know. Like I said, I don't know much about the offensive line or defensive line, but I do know that, no matter what team you have, if no matter how crappy you are, if you can learn to work together, there's always a chance in progressing and being better. And hopefully, even if they're shitty players, maybe they can find a way to work together to progress on that, and learn throughout the year and train. But I mean, they haven't signed a lot of players yet, right? So, I mean, they still have that chance of maybe trading, I guess.
Yeah, the trade deadline there, they can sign free agents, but there's not that many good free agents after
Yeah.
anymore because it's
Well,
already
I know like Jack Beck is pretty good. Tonka Hemingway, like those
yeah,
ones. I don't know if they're free agents or if they've been signed yet, but I know those guys are pretty good. So hopefully they'll be assets to the team.
yeah,
You know,
probably.
Ashton
Yeah,
Genty will be a pretty good asset to the team. Like, I mean, he seems like he's going to be an amazing player.
yeah, he is. He's gonna be, but he needs that offensive line to be better than what it is.
Yeah. Well, you know, all we can do is pray.
Yep.
All we can do is pray for the
Yes, it is.
hope they do good. No, you know, I remember I was in Rebels live the other night in the chat, and I was like, you know what? If I could just see them go to one Super Bowl in my lifetime, I will totally go to that game.
Actually, I did see the Raiders go to the Super Bowl back in 2000.
Oh
Was
yeah,
that?
well, yeah, it was a while ago, but that was before I ever watched football.
Oh, really?
I was like, I am not watching that stuff.
Yeah. So,
You know, they came. I still, you know, no matter what though, they still played pretty good against a few teams. And when they
yeah,
did, they weren't playing, I think, well as a team last year. And I don't think they like. Don't get me wrong. I think they respected AP as a person, but I don't think they respected him as much as a coach.
yeah, as a
And
head coach.
you know, and I think
Yeah,
they didn't feel like that direction that he. I don't think he was giving them the
yeah,
direction that they needed. And so I think now I think they respect Pete Carroll as a coach in more like this guy knows his stuff
yeah.
better and this guy is older and wiser and just you know to the point that I think they're actually going to do better because they have a coach that knows better or you know a little more if that makes
Ho-
sense.
hopefully.
Yeah. True. True.
Yeah, one last question. I'll let you go. But I think we already talked about this. Do you have any advice for the smaller YouTubers that want to get big?
So as far as when it comes to growing, I mean, I don't have any like tricks or anything like that, but my main thing is just consistency. Cross promoting, like anytime you're about to go live, try to do like a short 2 hours early, letting people know because I was looking up like different AIs that asking like, what can I do for this and that, and so I started doing those things. You do a short 2 hours early to let people you know you're going on live. Post a few hours on your community page saying, hey, I'm going live at this time. You know, cross promote on like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, little things like
Mhm.
that. But consistency is key. If you are able to, if you want to really grow, and I've told Rebel and I've told others, it's not just, hey, I'm going on once a day. You have to go on roughly like an 8 hour job. You got to treat it like a full time. If you want it to be a full time income, you got to treat it like a full time job.
Mhm.
You have to go, and it doesn't have to be, hey, I'm going to stay on 8 hours straight because that's not going to get you viewers.
No,
You
no,
want to
no.
do a couple hours in the morning, couple hours in the afternoon, couple hours in the evening, couple hours at night, and break it down into 8 hours in a day, and you will grow your following. You will see, you will be. And another thing, like for me, I do phone streams most of the time, so I come up on that short feed. So one of these days, in or break it down, like say you do your normal live streams on your computer. One
Mhm.
day a week, go on your phone, do an impromptu live stream saying, hey guys, I just want to come on and connect with you and see how you're doing. And just a phone live will put you on that different feed view. Well, you will get a whole different, you will get a whole bunch of different viewers because they're looking for
Wow.
those lives, because they're scrolling their live streams on the phone.
Yeah,
So you're going to get the viewers that are seeing you on the phone. They're not going to go and watch some sideways video unless they're looking for that content.
yeah,
If they're looking for a live stream or somebody talking, they're going to be on that phone looking for somebody that's going to be the full screen. So, I mean, that's my opinion of what I've experienced. As far as like reaching the algorithm and stuff, I have no clue. I just crash out on people. Just crash out on them. You might get a few. But yeah, just try to also go in and talk in other channels and let them know that you stream. Like, don't spam them because I know some channels are like, don't you bring your link,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but just
yeah.
go in and say, hey guys, how are you doing? I have a channel and I'd love to connect with you one day. If you say it kind of, it depends on how you say it. So if you say, hey, I have a channel, come see me, they're going to think you're stealing their
Yeah.
fans. And it's insane how people are so mean when you do that. So
Oh
if
yeah,
you,
yeah.
so for me, that's why I tell people, hey, come in, let us know you have a channel. Say, hey guys, I have a channel. Maybe one day we can collaborate. If you say that, like this interview, it gets people saying, oh, go check out the channel, you guys. We might collaborate one day. Or you know what I
Uh,
mean? Like it's a way of reaching out in their live streams without feeling like you're trying to steal their following. That's just like what I've been able to see. So it's a good way to grow as a channel, like connect with others, because you want to be in that community. If you're trying to get those following, you want them to see who you are before you're stealing them. You know what I mean? You want them to see, because people don't understand. You can't steal somebody's stream. You can only this is the thing. The viewer is going to go where they want to go. And yes, maybe you can go in and say, "Hey, I'm live," but I try not to do that. I'll do that on Rebels sometimes, just because I'll go and say, "Hey guys, I'm live. Go watch Rebel. Go watch Rebel," and so I'll try to promote. I try all the time, but like he said, I don't want your followers. They're all trolls most of the time. But there's always that one that's going to be a football.
Yeah.
So I tell them, you never know. You never know what avenue you don't open. If you don't go through that door, or if you don't see that window open and you don't take advantage of it, you're missing that opportunity.
Yeah, of course.
And and I know, like, a lot of people are stubborn. Like, Rebel is set in his ways. He's an older gentleman who's very set in his ways, and so he doesn't want to feel like, oh, all your fans came from your channel. No, like, when you let them know who you are, when you come in and you talk in that chat, they're learning who you are, and if they want to go to your channel, that is them. You promote to help others. So for me, I like to share. I like to, as a small creator, try to connect with others who are like me, who will let you come in, who will share your channel, who will, like, the live stream I did earlier today, I tagged you to it so people could see that I was doing the interview with you, so they can go and check your channel. Like, and that's one thing. Anytime you do an interview with anybody, anytime you go, try to tag their channel. That way they get the notification, and then they have the opportunity to share yours as well.
And I did want to thank you for that. I did see that in your chat.
Well, hopefully, like I said, and I'll mention when I go back live again tonight, I'll tag your channel and say, hey, I did an interview with, Cerebral Gamer. And so that way, they know to go check your channel, and then they'll be looking for the interview.
Oh, I would really appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, and then I will give you some advice. I don't know if you use, do you use the paid version of Streamlabs? I mean, of StreamYard?
I'm on this app called Melon, but it's part of Streamlabs.
Oh, okay. So, because I was going to say, I started using Restream.io. It is amazing. Amazing. It's super easy to connect with others and bring people on your channel. So if you,
really?
and it's only $20 a month. It's cheaper than StreamYard. So, and Streamlabs.
Oh, really good. I right now I'm paying $9.99 for this.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Oh no, that's good. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me on your channel. I appreciate it.
Well, no, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, no, like I said, I like to connect with others, and I like to, see how everybody's doing. And this is the thing. There is always ways to grow. Even if you're a smaller channel, one of your fans might like me. And and that's why I like connecting with others, because you never know that window of opportunity that you might miss.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we can do another collab together.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah, I do lives all the time. One of these days it's my problem is most of the time if I have to know ahead of time, because I do them on the phone. So I don't, when you stream on the phone, I just use regular YouTube app. And so it doesn't let you add people after. You have to select that option before you go live. Yeah. So I'm like, that's so dumb. Like, at least with these ones, you could be like, here, let me add somebody,
Yeah, so it is.
Yeah.
So. Well, yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
And is there anything that you want to plug or?
Just my website, basically my website, kandieangel.com. I have a published book on there. I have custom designed products on the store there. It's on my website. It's on my YouTube. Check out my YouTube, Hawaiian Kandie. I also have my Tatted Raiderette channel where I do my twerking for touchdowns, which obviously Raiders don't get too many touchdowns. So I didn't do too many twerks last year.
Oh.
And then I started this ASMR channel, but I can't stop laughing. So I just decided I'm going to make it a podcast.
Okay.
I am not the girl that's like, hi guys. Yeah, that's not me. I can't do that. I just am not that person.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like your
No, you know what though? I will tell you, I did one the other day, and one of the trolls from my normal channel said, I can't be a troll now because I actually like you.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, hey, I turned a troll. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But yeah, just send me the link and I'll post it on my channel too when you go live or when you put it up. I'll share it with everybody for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna go up probably sometime this week.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm leaving on the 17th to go camping up in Tennessee, and I'm taking a week off.
All right.
No phone, no nothing. Just a week with no
All right.
internet. It's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna feel like I'm like a pilgrim or something.
Well, I hope you have fun.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be posting pictures and stuff when I go, but it'll be when I get back. I'm just taking a week off for once. It's gonna be like the first week in like 8 years, so it's gonna be nice. Yeah, thank you. So yes, thank you for inviting me, and I look forward to working with you again.
Yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you later.
Have a great day.
You too.